Check this out. So Vergil Ortiz and Erickson Lubin were supposed to have a showdown take place on November 8th. And let's just say a beatdown occurred in its place. After the first round, I could kind of tell where this fight was headed. Erickson Lubin was fighting like a man that wanted to get knocked out early. Midway through the first round, he threw a half-ass long-range uppercut and decided not to take any defensive measures afterwards. 15 seconds later, he would commit to another rear hand uppercut, and again, no defensive measures to follow, no feints whatsoever to set up his punches. And then towards the end of this round, Lubin began to chill in the corner with no urgency to leave, despite Ortiz giving him a few seconds to circle out and escape. I don't know who Erickson Lubin was feeling like before this fight came to a close, but hopefully, for his sake, he never feel like that again. Because in the second round, Lubin does his best rope-a-dope impression. But the only dope getting roped was Lubin, which seems to be a recurring theme through his career. The rope-a-dope only worked one time, and the guy it worked against claimed that he was drugged by his corner. So unless Lubin had an inside man, allegedly, I don't know why in the hell he would chill on the ropes in an inactive high guard and allow his opponent to have his way with him. Ortiz manipulated the guard, landed some big hooks, then boom, the fight is over. My only takeaways of this fight is that Ortiz looked impressive. Good counters, stayed defensively responsible, and got Lubin up out of there as soon as the opportunity was presented to him. Erickson Lubin, on the other hand, I'll do this in one full swoop. After this loss, he had been inducted into the Hall of Gatekeepers. A fighter who has a decent amount of skills, but will always come up short against elite level or near elite level fighters and rising prospects. In a hot division like 154, that will be his role. He put out an Instagram post practically saying that he was a prisoner of his own bad habits. It was a lesson to learn from, and he'll be back better than ever at the middleweight division. This post alone made me change my opinion from him being a gatekeeper to he should retire. If this was his first loss and he made this post, then it is what it is. Fam, this is your third loss, and they've all been brutal losses. Exactly what lessons are you gaining from this? The many ways of getting your ass whooped? If he just moved up to 160 and went on about his business, it wouldn't even be mentioned. But to make a post about being a prisoner of your own bad habits, my man, in every big fight that had a title or title implications involved, you came up short. And as I said before, it's not like Lubin is losing on decisions and hard-fought competitive fights. Each loss that he took has ended with him either getting stopped or knocked out. Hopefully, this brother think long and hard about his next move, because the performance he put up in this fight was abysmal, to say the least. In the post-fight interview, Vergil Ortiz called Jerron Boots and it's over, and they began to exchange some words, and the interaction ends with a face-off between the two men and commentary hyping this up as a big fight for 2026. It was all good until the aftermath. It seems that Vergil, Boots, and Eddie Hearn want this to be the next fight. Golden Boy has other plans. Oscar De La Hoya want favorable negotiations for Vergil. Otherwise, they'll look to fight Sebastian Fundora or Errol Spence Jr. Ortiz's manager is saying that the minimum purse for Vergil to fight Boots is $10 million. Vergil Ortiz Sr. is saying that Junior hands are hurting and the doctor has to check him out. So let's break each one down one by one. If De La Hoya doesn't get the demand of the A side. Fundora and Spence is their next targets. From a business perspective, I can understand this. And this is where the politics of boxing become tricky and frustrating for the consumer. The Fundora fight will be for a title, and the Spence fight is a big money payday. While the Boots fight, at least at the moment, is nothing more than just to see who's the best. And 99.99999 times out of 100, a promoter is choosing the title or money fight. Hence the favorable negotiation, which will most likely be a split that Ennis or Hearn wouldn't like. I wouldn't mind to see Ortiz Fundora, but Ortiz and Spence? I get that Spence is Ortiz's dream fight, but Errol Spence Jr. hasn't fought in 2.5 years. And the last time he fought wasn't the pleasant sight to see, so I'm skeptical of this. But at the end of the day, money talks. The next thing is Ortiz's manager stating that $10 million is the minimum for the Boots fight. So this fight must be taking place around this time next year or in 2027. I don't know what type of draw they believe Vergil to be. Word on the street is that tickets were still being sold after the final bell rang. Either way, this $10 million statement just lets me know that this fight isn't happening anytime soon. To add more on top, Ortiz has to see his doctor about his hands, which sounds like a procedure will have to take place. All in all, the chances of Boots Ortiz happening next year are about the same as Deontay Wilder fighting Anthony Joshua. Take that for what you will. Which takes me back to the post-fight interview. To paraphrase Kevin Garnett, why would you show me something if you know I couldn't have it then? Who greenlit Boots to come in the ring and do this face-off? Why had it stare down if there wasn't any intent to deliver it next? Whatever good public perception that Ortiz had before when it came to him and Jaron Ennis is now gone. Bad play on Golden Boy's behalf all around. Hopefully, one or both men can grab a belt or belts next year and we could get this long-awaited clash. The sport of boxing is starving for two, in their prime, elite-level fighters to fight. These are the two men for the role. This fight has the potential to be a Four Kings level fight. When you think of each of the Four Kings battles, excluding the third Leonard and Duran fight, something memorable or legendary took place. And with the styles and skills that both Jaron Boots Ennis and Vergil Ortiz possess, and the ones that they don't, is what makes this a great matchup on paper. For now, though, this fight got to go to the bottom shelf. Until then, do the science.